What if the world's largest financial rescue organization isn't just about saving economies? What if beneath the surface of bailouts and stability lies a powerful tool for geopolitical control? Welcome back to The Money Files. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most powerful institutions on the planet, the International Monetary Fund. We're asking the uncomfortable question: is the IMF a neutral force for global good, or a key instrument the United States uses to manipulate the world for its own interests? Strap in. First, let's understand the power structure. The IMF isn't a democracy, it's a shareholder system. Money buys votes. The United States is the largest single shareholder. This gives it a unique de facto veto power over all major IMF decisions, which require an 85% supermajority. With over 16% of the votes, America alone can block anything. This isn't just influence, it's structural control, and this control is direct. The US executive director at the IMF isn't a rogue actor. They take their cues from the US Treasury Department. The link between American foreign policy goals and IMF action is a short official phone call. So, how does this work in practice? A country faces a financial crisis. It needs an IMF bailout to survive. This is where the leverage kicks in. In exchange for emergency loans, the IMF demands structural adjustment programs, or SAPs. These are a set of strict, non-negotiable conditions: slash government spending on healthcare and education, privatize national industries like water and energy, and remove trade barriers. Critics call this the Washington Consensus. The result? While the immediate crisis might be patched, the country's economic sovereignty is shredded. Its public assets often get sold at fire sale prices to, you guessed it, Western corporations. The market is opened for US and European goods, while local industries drown in competition. Let's look at the evidence. In the 1980s, the IMF enforced brutal austerity across Latin America to manage debt crises. The region suffered a lost decade of zero growth and soaring poverty, but US banks were repaid in full. After the Soviet Union collapsed, the IMF prescribed shock therapy to Russia. The rapid privatization and deregulation didn't create a healthy market economy. Instead, it led to economic collapse, hyperinflation, and the rise of the infamous oligarchs, destabilizing a nuclear power for a generation. Fast forward to today. Look at any recent major IMF bailout. You'll often find the loans come with subtle geopolitical strings. Pressure to distance oneself from US strategic rivals or to align foreign policy in a certain way. The economics are rarely just economics. Now, defenders of the system will say the IMF provides essential stability. It prevents global financial meltdowns. The conditions are tough medicine necessary for reform. And there's some truth there. Chaos benefits no one. The crucial point isn't whether the IMF has a role. The point is who ultimately benefits from its design and decisions. When a single nation can steer its policy, when reform consistently opens doors for Western capital, and when geopolitical alignment becomes a hidden line in the loan document, the institution's neutrality is a myth. The world is changing. The unipolar moment of the 1990s is over. Rising powers like China are creating their own lending institutions, like the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, explicitly to offer an alternative to the US-led IMF World Bank system. This is the ultimate check on US influence through the IMF. If the tool is used too blatantly as a weapon, countries will seek other lenders. The future of the IMF depends on true reform of its governance, reducing US veto power and giving emerging economies a real seat at the table. So, does the United States use the IMF to manipulate others for its own interests? The architecture says yes. The history shows yes. It is a primary, if often invisible, instrument of American dollar diplomacy. It projects power not just with aircraft carriers, but with loan conditions and voting shares. What institutions should we investigate next? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Until next time, this is the Money Files. Stay curious.